I wasn't sure when I was going to talk about Cuyahoga County again. Of course, you guys know that the reason that I decided to go this direction with my channel was the story of a little girl called Anaya Day Garrett in Cleveland, Ohio, out of Cuyahoga County, where Michael Garrett, the biological father, was robbed of an opportunity to be a father by the baby mom, Sierra Day, and boyfriend, Deontay Lewis, who murdered a 4-year-old little girl because she was about to lose custody of that child just to hurt the father. Cuyahoga County is infamous for many stories that I have talked about. Many stories. We have yet another one in this tragic tale, but before I give you details, I do need to let you guys know that some people might find my content controversial or offensive, but my stories are coming from very credible sources. This one is coming from lawandcrime.com. We got a lot of our articles from them, and I'd like to also thank them for everything that they do on their YouTube channel and on their website. I mean, they are really, really on it, doing an amazing job. So shout out to lawandcrime.com. This video commentary is also going to contain my personal opinion about the facts of the story. The point is to use this as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised, and that is your official disclaimer. A 35-year-old mother and her 39-year-old boyfriend were each given the maximum sentence and will spend several decades behind bars for starving, abusing, and torturing this alleged mother's 8-year-old son for approximately 4 years. Too many stories coming out of Cuyahoga County. Common Pleas Court, Judge Sherry Midday ordered Danielle Pascal, again, she's 35 years old, to serve 62 to 67 and a half years in prison. And she was crying in court. Boo effing who? Crying in court. But they abused this baby for 4 years. Let me get her face up here. She got her face kind of covered up. 62 to 67 and a half years. While her boyfriend, Donald Gunderman, let me get his face up here, which is this clown. Donald Gunderman, 39 years old, was sentenced to 34 to 39 and a half years in prison. Court records reviewed by Law and Crime. Now, let me address something that you guys might have noticed. I want you guys to notice, and I think I told Kurt Dog about this earlier. Shout out to my brother Kurt Dog. I know he's not up right now, but hopefully he'll watch this on the replay. I told Kurt Dog that this is something that I've been advocating for a long time, and I've told you guys your voices are important. What you type matters. When you vote, it matters. Your voice matters. Speaking out on these issues. I'd like to think that a sentence like this could be attributed to my words. Let me explain what I mean. I've been saying for the longest time, and people in the chat can attest to this. Type in the chat and let me know if I'm right or wrong about this. How many years have I been talking about that if you take your children to the Thug Zoo, and this is a colloquialism that I made up. So if you hear anybody saying that, it came from me. You take your children to the Thug Zoo to go play with the Thug Lion, and then that Thug Lion is going to behave like a Thug Lion does and maul and murder your baby. I've always said, why give the Thug Lion more time than the person that took their child to the Thug Zoo in the first place? Huh? This is why I like the sentencing. This was her son. She put her son in this danger and kept him in this danger for 4 effing years. Right? 4 years. I've been talking about this for about 4 years. And I said that person who brought the child to this danger should be the person who faces the most time, if not equal time to the murderer or to the person who helped participate in the demise of this child. So for her to get 60 plus years, almost 70 years, and for him to get almost 40 years, I say bravo. I think Cuyahoga County finally got this one right. You absolutely shouldn't look at this as a woman versus a man. Nope. Because in this country, y'all want them to be equal, right? Hashtag you date thugs, you date death. Thank you. Been saying this for 4 years now. Thank you. You hold the person accountable for bringing their child to the danger. You deal with the dangerous item, whether that be an animal, whether that be an animal in a human form. You deal with them also. But the person who made a conscious decision to bring their child in a situation like this, keep them in a situation like this, and allow it to happen and exploit it, I think that that deserves even worse punishment. I think they got it right in this case. Let's keep going. Pascal and Gunderman in September both pled guilty to a spate of felony charges in connection with their horrific treatment of the child, which reportedly included. It's about to get nasty. Pause it if you need to. Close the video if you need to and come back. It's about to get disgusting. Details, details, details. They pled guilty to a spate of felony charges in connection with their horrific treatment of the child, which reportedly included urinating in his food, shooting him with a BB gun, locking him alone in a basement with only a bucket, and beating him with various objects. Pascal pled guilty to 3 counts of child kidnapping, 8 counts of endangering a child, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. Gunderman, the boyfriend, pled guilty to 6 counts of endangering a child and 1 count of each of kidnapping, child kidnapping, domestic violence, and tampering with evidence. According to a report from Cleveland.com, prosecutors with the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office said that the Euclid couple, and I've talked about Euclid in a number of stories on my channel, the Euclid couple systematically beat, tortured, and starved the now 10-year-old little boy in such a horrendous manner that Judge Midday reportedly told the pair that she wished she had the power to send them to prison for life without the possibility of parole. I'm just glad that the judge even said that. Just your words meant a ton right there. So kudos to the judge. But since I don't, there can be no justice unless this court removes both of you from our society for the maximum amount of time possible under the law, Midday reportedly said during Thursday's sentencing hearing. The investigation into the couple reportedly began approximately 18 months ago. Doctors who were treating the child reportedly told authorities that the then 8 years old, was 35 pounds. Y'all catch that? 35 pounds and about the size of a 4-year-old. The size of a child half of his age. 35 pounds. He also reportedly had sunken eyes per medical records. Assistant Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Megan Helton reportedly told the court that Pascal lied to doctors about the child having various medical issues that accounted for his condition. An investigation into the couple for possible child abuse was launched shortly after and revealed the appalling conditions of the child's daily life. A man who stayed in the home with Pascal and Gunderman in 2018 also provided police with a cell phone video recording of the boy crying out from the basement for several minutes that he was hungry while the family watched TV. and these son of a bitches want to cry in court. Isn't that something? Selfish son of a... They had the nerve to cry in court. Another person who stayed with Pascal when the boy was 4 years old told police Pascal frequently made the boy stand in the corner all night long, holding a gallon of water and depriving him of sleep as punishment. The victim reportedly told investigators that his mom and Gunderman would often make him strip naked, beat him, and force him to eat old, moldy food. I'm going to tell y'all, man, some people just deserve what they get in prison. If anything happens to him in prison, so be it. If anything happens to her in prison, so be it. There are just some people that just deserve real bad treatment in prison. The adults also reportedly told the other children living in the house to physically harm the child, which at least one of the other children confirmed to be true. Investigators reportedly said that the victim would often escape from the confines of the basement through a window on several occasions. Neighbors found him hiding in their doghouse, clutching food wrappers from the garbage. Mom's boyfriend, Gunderman, and mom, Pascal, reportedly responded by covering the basement windows with chicken wire. Where is the biological father in this situation? Is beyond me. I don't know. Assistant Prosecutor Hilton also reportedly told the court that Gunderman and Pascal had discussed a plan to try and influence the boy if he ever testified against them. Recordings of phone calls from the jail showed the two concocted a plan in case there was a trial where Gunderman could whisper "I love you" to the boy as he walked by him to testify to try to manipulate the boy, the report states. Gunderman then planned to turn to the boy's father and wink to try to elicit an outburst in front of the jury. So there you go. The biological father apparently was going to be in court, or was in court. Before the proceedings ended, Judge Midday reportedly said that the victim was now living with his biological father and was doing much better. So there you go. This is a positive story. The boy survived, and I absolutely agree that this boy only survived because God made his body strong enough to survive, and these people absolutely deserve life in prison. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Absolutely insane. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I really don't know how the roommates get off on this, knowing that this type of thing was going on. That I really just don't know. If you guys are watching the story, I would love for you guys to share it. Make the story go viral, please. Hit that thumbs up, share it. Let's do as best as we can to try to spread these news stories, okay? Here we go.
How could anyone torture and starve their own child? It's something a local mom and her boyfriend did for years. Today they were punished for such an unthinkable crime. Now at 3, Woody Dortch was there.
The defendants tortured and permanently injured an innocent child.
Danielle Pascal may never be a free woman again. The 35-year-old will sit in prison for at least the next 60 years. She and her boyfriend, Donald Gunderman, did the unthinkable to her now 10-year-old son. He was beaten, mistreated, and starved for years until finally the boy was removed from the home last year.
This photo was taken in March of 2021 when he was recovered from the house. And you can see he has a smile on his face because at the hospital he was being given food.
Gunderman will be locked away for more than 30 years. He apologized in court, saying he failed his entire life.
Your Honor, I can't even begin to express how sorry I am for the things that I allowed Austin to go through.
The evidence tough to see and listen to, from bruises to scars. Debris also found in his stomach from eating non-food items. Neighbors reported him looking for something to eat in the trash and breaking into their homes to get food. He told investigators the food the couple did give him, he couldn't even touch. Gunderman would step and urinate on it.
Another person that called our agency reported that Austin was quote-unquote pretty thin.
Take a look inside his bedroom, just a bed, windows shut tight, and a lock on the door. He was forced to use the bathroom in a bucket. The boy told investigators the couple wanted him to die. Even when Child and Family Services showed up, Pascal hid what was happening, telling them her son had an eating disorder and behavioral issues, and she was working with doctors.
Neither of them ever took advantage of those opportunities to express to Children's Services that something bad was happening to Austin.
Pascal breaking down in court too.
I'm truly sorry I am for any actions on my behalf that failed her. And I will always love him no matter what.
But it didn't sway the judge, locking them away for decades. In Cleveland, Winnie Dorch, 19 News.
All right, so before I forget this, let me go ahead and speak on this and give you guys my closing thoughts. I want you guys in the chat who have been listening to me for a while, if you can type in there, do me a favor and type in the chat, and I want y'all to just tell me and be real. How long have I been saying for these ladies, it is dangerous in general, not all, but it is dangerous to date men and bring men around your children, especially when they are too small to be able to defend themselves. Because I've always said that in general, not all, but most of these men aren't going to see these children as something that they want to protect. They see these children as they look like the men that the mother was with a man previously. They become jealous, they don't like it, and they want to get those kids out of the picture. And they're generally not going to show them love. Now, granted, there are a lot of good stepfathers out there, good husbands, and all of that type of stuff. I know a lot of them. I've been one of them. My brother Kurt Dog has been one of them. I can speak on many different men who have stepped in as stepfathers and done an amazing job, right? A lot of good brothers out there. But there are too many situations where these men aren't going to love your kids because they're not their DNA strand. They see them as they're looking at the man that the mother just got through making this kid with. So it sounds like this man was around this kid between the age of 3 and 4 years old. That means that she wasn't with the dad, or she wasn't with the dad not that long ago. So it wasn't a long period of time in between there. That's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to say, remember how we talked about GoFundMe? Well, this will be a perfect time if the biological father put up a GoFundMe. His child survived. If we were ever going to put some money into a GoFundMe, why do we always put it into the ground for somebody's funeral, but we won't put it into somebody's life? This child survived the worst and most traumatic thing ever imaginable. Hell on earth is what this baby went through. And this father could use all the support in the world. I'd love to see him put up a $5,000, $10,000 GoFundMe. And I'd love to see it be filled up real quick. This would be a great time to fund a GoFundMe for a child that's living, for a child that can feel our wishes and feel our love, where we can improve their life, and that maybe this baby can grow up and have a chance to grow up and become something great. God willing, if the father does the right thing, and we're just going to have to pray about that. But I think this baby will be in good hands, and I think they definitely need to monitor. They need to be doing unannounced weekly checks, monthly checks, whatever, but check on that kid, make sure that baby is all right. But life in prison would have been the only thing suitable for these people. But 67, almost 70 years and 40 years, I think that's about right. Just to serve. Thank you guys so much. Share the story, like, share, subscribe to the AFC Podcast. Thank you.